aerial reconnaissance. Their freedom to roam draws the envy of most infantry units, but especially Charlie Company 132. The terrain out here along the Afghan border with Pakistan would be impenetrable without them. Using sophisticated surveillance equipment, these Kiowa helicopters give eyes and ears to soldiers operating on the ground, helping them to make sense of the bigger picture.
Since the Pakistan military has increased its operations along the border, we've noticed a decline in enemy activity in our sector of Kunar province, really throughout most of Kunar province in general. I don't know if it's because the Taliban are starting to get a little too stretched, trying to fight two wars on two fronts, or what side they're currently reinforcing, but it's been pretty quiet here lately.
The army has set up in northern Kunar province to try and separate the locals from Taliban fighters. But determining friend from foe is not as easy or sustainable as it appears. A smile in the local culture is considered a form of charity. And while there is no way of knowing how these villagers truly feel about the Americans, the expressions on their face are a start.
The soldiers have just finished setting up their checkpoint, where for the next several hours they'll be stopping cars to look for weapons and evidence of contraband that could be used to go to the Taliban. Now, these soldiers tell us that they're relieved to see the presence of villagers and children here. They know that the Taliban won't strike and attack them when the locals are present. They, too, are in a battle to win the hearts and minds of the population.
The locals know the army won't be staying long.
This is Indian country, and that kind of is our border right now, between us and what the enemy holds. So these guys are kind of caught in the middle of it. We try to make sure that the civilians don't feel the blunt of combat operations.
If the enemy's over this ridgeline, why are we here?
Right now, mobility is a hard problem, but everyone talks about decisive terrain. In this war, decisive terrain doesn't mean sitting on a plot of land. This is our decisive terrain. The enemy can sit in the wood line all they want. So long as the people are with us, and so long as we're working for the guys who live in these villages, we're winning and they're not.
What the lieutenant said was not the entire story. He knows that up until May, the army had a full-time outpost just beyond that ridgeline, 2 kilometers away. That was until the Taliban took it over. A coalition soldier provided Al Jazeera with this exclusive footage. These are the final moments of the American outpost known as Bar-e-Allah. As the Taliban overran their positions, the soldiers called in a so-called broken arrow mission, a request for friendly aircraft to bomb and destroy their own position. The army obliged, but it's not been without repercussions. 3 soldiers died, and an investigation into how it happened continues. Since losing Bar-e-Allah, these soldiers face new restrictions from top army brass. Foot patrols into villages in groups of no less than 16, and backup must include another 16 waiting in combat vehicles at all times.
Elevation 22.
Soldiers are also banned from leaving the base on patrol for more than 12 hours. That doesn't leave long to patrol almost 250 kilometers of border country and dirt roads, let alone win over the Afghan people. It's definitely not enough time to stay and fight the Taliban. Clayton, Swisher, Al Jazeera, Kunar Province, Afghanistan.